What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I am wrestling with myself. AEW Double or Nothing 2020 is coming at you guys live this Saturday on May 23rd, presumably from Daly's Place in Jacksonville. I imagine that's where they'll be having the show. They've been doing a good job on Dynamite of putting a crowd in the audience, especially if they're going to use Daly's Place. It's a pretty good semi-outdoor but covered kind of a stadium, and really has a nice wrestling ambiance. It reminds me of the old Outdoor Nitro shows. So it should be a good ambiance for the show. And also, there should be a good audience for the show. They should continue to put undercard people or friends and family of the wrestlers or whatever spread out throughout the arena like they've been doing on Dynamite to create a pretty cool environment. Glad they're still having this show. Hopefully I get a chance to see it live as it airs, if I can get it affordably on an app or something, in terms of the Bleacher Report app or something like that. I don't have cable, so we'll see how I can get this thing, but looking forward to watching the show. There are 9 matches total on this show, 2 pre-show matches and 7 regular card matches, I believe. That is a good length right there. I think 7 solid regular card matches plus a few pre-show things should be nice. You can do a solid, half hour, 2 hour pre-show, half hour to an hour pre-show, and then have your 3 hour main show. All in all, at first I wasn't too happy with the card kind of being thrown together, especially with no audience and having most of the roster not be available for Dynamite for about like 5 or 6 weeks there. They were taped in advance. So they didn't have most of their roster, and all of a sudden now in the last 3 weeks they retaped a new set of tapings where they had their entire roster to work with. So for being a card that's thrown together at the bottom, it's pretty solid. The top AEW always does a great job of their top matches being important and feeling nicely well built. The undercard was what I was worried about, but I think it's come together pretty nicely with a few really good Dynamites toward the end here. So I'm looking forward to this show. I think overall it's a good show. I'm going to give you guys quickly my ideas and predictions, run down the matches, run down the predictions, and see what you guys think. Of the 2 pre-show matches, firstly we have Britt Baker against Chris Statlander, if it still happens. Britt Baker was injured last night on Dynamite. I'm recording this on Thursday. Last night on Dynamite she was injured. She crawled over the corner. She couldn't put weight on her foot. The doctor checked her out. They carried her out at the end of her match. So I'm heavily doubting this match is going to happen, especially considering there are no stakes or anything. It's a pre-show match. There's not a ton of build to this match. I was looking forward to it because Statlander and Baker are 2 of the better women's wrestlers in this division, and Baker has been one of the best parts of Dynamite for weeks now. Ever since turning heel and doing the Dennis promos and doing the stuff with Shivani, she's been one of the best parts of this show. I've really enjoyed Mean Girl Britt Baker that's a heel. So I am sad to see if she winds up not being able to do this match, because I've been really liking her character and her evolution a lot since going heel. I'm going to guess this match does not happen, but if it does, I'm going to give the win to Britt Baker again. She's been hot since turning heel. She knows that character. She's just a natural, jaw-jacking, demeaning, condescending character, and she does it so well. Statlander doesn't really need it. I think Baker does here. So if the match does happen, I think Baker wins, and what should be a decent match. Then we have Private Party against Best Friends for the #1 contendership for the AEW Tag Team titles. This one got no real hype. Aside from the stakes of being for the #1 contendership, there was no build. Private Party hasn't really been on the show at all since the COVID thing started. Best Friends have been there week after week winning matches, so because of that, because Private Party's been gone and Best Friends been on a winning streak, I don't see why they wouldn't give Best Friends the win here. Private Party is sorely missed on this show. I like their act. I like their characters. They're not the most seasoned guys in the ring, but they are fun athletes to watch. They're spotty, but they work well together. Should be a decent match. I'm not really big on Best Friends personally in my own taste, but I think Best Friends get the win here. I wish there was some more build to this, but Best Friends will go on and get a tag title shot and hopefully not win the belts, because I don't see that being a good fit for them. Then we get to the main card. Just announced last night, Shawn Spears against Dustin Rhodes. Spears and Cody have this long-term thing going, and Spears has been talking down on Dustin being an old man. So not a whole lot of build, just a couple little inset promos from Shawn Spears, but I think Shawn Spears is probably the most underused talent in AEW and has been for a while now. I think just look and cachet from being with Vince for a while, being an overall good wrestler, great promo, good talker, good look, has Tully. I think Spears has everything it takes to be a main event kind of guy in AEW, and they just haven't used him like that for a while. They were doing the tag team partner thing. I guess they dropped that out of nowhere. where he was looking for a partner. So now he's back to being a single, and he's back to attacking the Rhodes family. And I really enjoy Shawn Spears turning on the Rhodes family. It's a very solid angle. So I think Spears needs this win. He's been starting to pick up some wins ever since losing to Cody in the title tournament. So he's been on kind of a roll recently, and Dustin doesn't need the win. He's already established. He's a veteran that's untouchable. So I think it'll be a good, underrated, solid match with two solid workers. And I think Spears should get the win here. Have him cheat or whatever. Have Tully come back and do whatever he has to do. But I think Spears gets the win here. I think he should. Then we have MJF versus Jungle Boy. This was really just announced for no reason. Both guys were gone for the COVID thing. MJF was doing promos and Jungle Boy was just gone. He came back recently and MJF cost Jungle Boy a match. So now they're going to have this match. Even though there's no storyline and no build, I'm still looking forward to the wrestling portion of this because they're both very good wrestlers. They're two of the future world champion AEW cornerstones in this company. Jungle Boy is a good underneath babyface. He's a good seller. He takes a good beating. He's a good athlete. He's undersized, but he's quick and he has heart. MJF is the best heel in the business right now. He can talk anybody into seats. He's an amazing, natural, hated prick character. And he's undefeated in AEW right now. He definitely gets this win. Jungle Boy still has a ways to go before he gets to upper level status. And MJF is already there. And I think he's going to be the next contender for Moxley. And possibly even the one that beats Moxley to become the next champion. So I would give MJF this win. Let him cheat to win. You can save Jungle Boy for another day. This should be a really fun, possible show-stealing match. Then we have for the Women's Championship, no disqualification, no countouts. Nyla Rose defends against Hikaru Shida. I'm not looking forward to this match too much. I think Nyla Rose has a big upside. I like her potential. I think she's a decent wrestler, but a little unseasoned. Hikaru Shida I'm not a big fan of because there's no character there. I like promos and characters the most, but Shida is seasoned in the ring. Solid wrestler, probably the best of the Joshi wrestlers that AEW has used in the past. So two decent wrestlers should be a decent match, but there's no real heat for me. They just announced this recently, and I'm not a big fan of either wrestler, so not piquing my interest too much here. But I think Nyla Rose retains. She's still fairly new with the title. She's only had maybe 3 defenses of it. I think you build her up for 6 months as a monster who beats everyone, so the next person can come in and beat her, possibly Britt Baker to cheat to win down the road or something like that in some kind of match. So I think Nyla wins here. I'm not looking forward to it too much, but it still should be a decent match. Then we have another possible show stealer on this show. I think this one will steal the show. The Casino Ladder Match. It's a 9-participant ladder match, kind of like the Casino Battle Royal, but they can't do a Battle Royal because of COVID. So they're doing a 9-person ladder match where the winner gets an AEW World Title shot. So this should be your obligatory, fun, crazy spot fest where guys take risks and do dives and all that fun stuff. So here's your high-flying match on the card. I like that. Never hurts to put one match out there like that, especially when you give it stakes, so I like that. I didn't write down all the competitors, but I know there's Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, Colt Cabana, Phoenix, Luchasaurus, I think Orange Cassidy's in it, Darby Allin's in it, and then you have a mystery person as well. So if we're going based on just the announced competitors, the 8 competitors that we know, I think Darby Allin's got the best chance here. He's challenged for the belt a couple times already against Jericho and Moxley and has not won. But I think he's another one of those guys like MJF and Jungle Boy that are right on the next tier to be a future world champion. Darby's going to be a world champion at some point, and he's going to be a main eventer in 2020 if he hasn't already been. So he's popular, he's over, he has a good character, he has a good journey so far. I think Darby wins this if we're going by the 8 guys we know. The other possible winner is the mystery person we don't know. Now, this could be somebody coming back to AEW since they've been out of the country. We don't know if AEW can get guys back in now from out of the country. So someone like Pentagon or especially Pac. Pac would fit this match very well. And we haven't seen him for a while on AEW, so that'd be a nice little homegrown surprise. Or they could bring in someone like a Brian Cage or a Jeff Cobb, who they've had talks with and haven't officially signed yet. That could make sense because they're both risk takers and big power guys. Or they could use somebody that Vince just cut. WWE just had a bunch of cuts. They cut 30 guys. So one of those guys might come in here and make a splash and possibly even win. Someone I've thought of like a Leo Rush could fit this very well. He's a daredevil high flyer who's been in the news recently. You've got Rusev, who's the most popular underused guy who was just cut. You got Zack Ryder, who's won ladder matches before, and he's a friend of Cody's, and he was a popular guy in WWE for a while. Guys like that. You have guys like Drew Gulak was just cut this past week, and he's very popular and beloved as a wrestler and a character. So one of those four guys could be a real possibility. I'm going to go ahead and predict that this was announced before Gulak was cut. I'm going to go on a limb here and say Lio Rush. I think Lio Rush fits this so well. And he's saying that he's not going to wrestle again because he's doing a rap career now, but I think that's a front. I think you're going to see him in AEW. I think he fits well. He knows the guys from Ring of Honor. He fits this style. He's a good talker. I like Lio Rush. I'm going to guess him, but it very well could be Gulak or Rusev or Ryder, one of those guys. So I think that Darby Allin wins this, but the mystery person is my second choice. Then for the inaugural TNT World Championship, you have Cody versus Lance Archer, with Mike Tyson presenting the belt and being the enforcer on the outside. Cody will have Arn Anderson at ringside. Lance Archer will have Jake Roberts on the outside. There's pretty good intrigue for this match. Nice long build since Archer's come into AEW. He's made a good impact. Cody's one of the cornerstones. He's one of the best in the world right now. This should be a nice clash of Cody's underneath babyface versus the big, powerful Murder Hawk Monster. And a lot of intrigue with Jake and Tyson and Arn Anderson having their good promo last night. This is going to be a fun thing with a lot of moving pieces. Brandy could be involved as well. You got a lot of nice pieces. Cody's the best storyteller in this company, and they built Archer nicely. So protecting characters and telling a good story is going to be the forefront of this. Why it could be one of the best matches on the entire show. Looking forward to this one majorly. Most people are saying Cody because he can't win the world title, so if he wins this title, he can be a main eventer that holds the secondary title and make it on par with the world championship. I go with Lance Archer here. I think Lance Archer should win, and I'm going to predict that he will win just because he's the monster. He's the newest signee for the company, and you want to have the underneath guys chase. If Cody can chase Archer and win it, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, you can start off with a dominant heel champion and have Cody and other faces like Darby Allin chase for the title instead. So I think you start off with Archer winning with Jake cheating or something, or whatever, even if you just want to make Archer with a dominant win. Either way, it should be a good match, and I think you start off with the heel so Cody can chase. But I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Then we have the Stadium Stampede. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. It's going to be a 5-on-5 Elite versus Inner Circle matchup. That's going to take place. I think the ring's going to be on the football field, and they're going to be able to go out and brawl and do all their crazy stuff. They've done a couple of football field brawls in the last couple of weeks. I think this should be intense. I think as long as it stays serious, it doesn't get too silly, it should be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the tag match a few weeks back with Guevara getting hit with the golf cart and Kenny Omega doing the moonsault off of the scissor lift. So if they make this wild and crazy and intense and brawly all over the place and do innovative stuff, this should be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give the win to the face team. We have not seen the Young Bucks or Hangman Page except for last night. In about 6, 7, 8 weeks on AEW. They're staying home because of COVID. So I think that having those guys freshly back, you want to give those guys a win. You still have the Adam Page dynamic kind of being against his own team right now. So I think Page might get a win and then walk away from his team and continue the dissension there. Matt Hardy is still a very new signee, and you want to have him take advantage of this. You can pin Guevara or Jericho, and they can get their heat back by just talking on Dynamite and just making fun of it a couple of days later. So the heels don't have to win here. You have a couple of the faces that are freshly back in the company after a layoff, and you have Matt Hardy being a new signee, so I think the faces win this match. Then we have your main event. This is a much talked about match. You have Jon Moxley defending his world title against Brody Lee. People are saying they're not enjoying the hype for this. They're not very excited for this match. I am. Moxley and Brody are two of my favorite wrestlers in the entire world right now. I think they were criminally misused and underappreciated where they came from in WWE. I think seeing Brody Lee coming out in a main event character role, helping the Dark Order, kind of fixing that group a little bit, and being a main event guy here. I think the two ex-Vince wrestlers coming out in the main event of AEW, stealing the show, could be great. I think they both are intense brawlers that do a lot of things that make sense. I think they tell a good story in the ring. I think they're both multifaceted. They're agile. They're good brawlers. I think it's going to be a good match. I really hope this thing gets 18 minutes and really steals the show in the main event here. I want to see these two kill it. My biggest question, this is the hardest match for me to predict on the entire show because they painted themselves kind of into a corner here. Jon Moxley just won the championship on the last pay-per-view 3 months ago or whatever it was, and he only defended the belt once against Jake Hager, so he only has one defense, and he only won the belt 3 months ago. He's a brand new champion who you want to give a nice long reign to and really establish him as champion. He has not lost a match yet. But by the same token, Brody Lee is a brand new signee who just came in. He's like 4-0, and he's really only beat jobbers. I think he had his first serious match the other day against Chris Daniels that he won. So he's really just won a couple squashes in one competitive match. He's new in the company. He's a guy you want to push as a main eventer. He's got the Dark Order behind him, and they're riding on him to be a champion. So you've got a dominant brand new signee with a big name against a brand new champion with one defense. So what do you do here? You don't want to end the show on a DQ. You want to be true to both characters and save both of them their win streaks and make them both feel important. But you don't want to end in some count out or DQ to end the show, because then your world title match gets a bad rep from the fans. So how do you book this in such a way that protects both guys and gets you a clean finish? I don't want to see Moxley about to beat Brody and Dark Order just runs in. I also don't want to see Dark Order do a fuck finish and just have Moxley lose the belt this early. So I'm going to predict, just for gravity's sake, for Moxley to hold the belt a little longer. I think Moxley wins here. There are other challenges like MJF coming up down the road where he could lose. I think he's going to retain here somehow and get his belt back. I don't know how they're going to pin Brody this early, but at least losing to the world champion in a main event is not a huge loss. It's not going to hurt him too much. So I'm going to pick Moxley to win this here, and I really want this one to make the fans feel like it was worthy, because I'm excited for this and nobody else seems to be. So what are you guys most looking forward to? Do your predictions match mine? How are they going to book the main event world title match? And who's going to be the mystery person in the casino ladder match? Tell me in the comments down below. And if you guys want more AEW videos, please tell me and check out my channel so I can do more of this stuff on YouTube. And check out my weekly Dynamite reviews at ProWrestlingJournal.com, where I review Dynamite every single Wednesday, and it goes up on Thursdays. Check it out, guys. Enjoy the show. I will talk to you soon.